In this lesson, we're going to take a tour of several different widgets that you can create using Ruby and TK. And then in the next lessons, we'll look more specifically at how to work with some of the more common widgets, especially text fields and buttons for entering information and then performing some sort of action after information is entered. So let's start a new program. We're going to call it widgets.rb. First thing we do is require the TK module. Then we're going to set up our root object. We'll give it a name, multiple widgets. The first widget we're going to create is a button. So let's write out the code for that. When we tell it what side to put the widget on when we pack, such as side right, then that's going to specify the side of the form. Fill Y tells it to make it the height of the form. Y is for height, and X is for width. Now we can modify those by using padding, but that's getting just a little bit detailed for these lessons. So you'll see the effect of doing fill Y in just a moment. Now we're going to do an entry field. This time I'm going to chain the pack method call with the call to new, just to demonstrate a different way to enter the command. So here we put the side to the top, tell it to go to the top of the form. Our fill is X for width. And then we're going to insert some text starting at the 0 position, and that's text in entry widget. Now let's do a label. And this time we just tell it to put it on the right side of the form. Next, we're going to do a text field. Notice for a text field, you can give a width and a height. And we chain the pack method and put some text in the field at the end. Finally, we're going to add a message widget to the bottom of the form. Messages are kind of like status bars for those of you who are familiar with those kinds of widgets. And then finally, we call main loop to load the form. So let's save our program. Bring our command prompt window back up. Let's make our window just a little bit bigger. Let me center it a bit so you can see it. Notice how the text stretches out to meet it. We can enter data into these entry fields. As well as into the text field. Notice the difference between an entry field. An entry field is a single line, and a text field is multiple lines. Like so. Then we have label over here, and we have a button right here. Of course, it's not wired to do anything, and then our message down at the bottom. I purposely left the message for the message text like this to demonstrate what happens with pack. Let's look at our code real quick one more time so that we see how to create a button, an entry field, a label, a text field, and a message field, or a message widget, actually. So that wraps up this brief tour of multiple widgets and how to put them on a form.